the matter of State of Punjab and others versus Trishula Alloys Private Limited, the Supreme Court upheld the view of High Court and stated that a taxable person who had stock in trade as on 25 January 2014 or as on 1 February 2014 had already paid the tax while making the purchase of such goods. In this case, the purchase was made by paying higher rate of tax on iron and steel goods to be used as input for the purpose of manufacture of taxable goods. The taxable person who is otherwise entitled to avail input tax credit on the goods already purchased and lying in stock would suffer serious prejudice and loss if his entitlement to input tax credit are reduced by virtue of lowering the rate of tax on such goods on a subsequent date. High Court had noted that the enabling provision in the statute came into effect on and from 1 April 2014 and therefore Rule 21(8) of the Punjab VAT rules, which permits application of the reduced rate of tax, cannot be given effect to transactions which already stood concluded prior thereto. It could only be applied to transactions on and from 1st April 2014. It referred to the case of Eicher Motors Limited versus Union of India, where a three-judge bench of Supreme Court examined the challenge to the validity and application of the scheme as modified by way of introduction to Rule 57F of the Central Excise Rules 1944, under which was lying unutilized as on 16 March 1995 with the manufacturers stood lapsed in the manner therein. While examining the above issue, the court held that if on the inputs the assessee had already paid the taxes on the basis that when the goods are utilized in the manufacture of further products as inputs thereto, then the tax on these goods gets adjusted which are sold subsequently. Thus, a right accrued to assessee on the date when he paid the tax on the raw material or the input would continue until the facility available thereto gets worked out or until those goods existed. The rule cannot be applied to goods manufactured prior to date it came on force, on which duty had been paid and credit facility had been availed for the purpose of manufacture of other goods. In SEDCO Forex International Drill INC versus Commissioner of Income Tax, Dehradun, in this case, where the court reiterated the well settled principle of tax law that the law to be applied is that which is in force in the relevant assessment year unless otherwise provided expressly or by necessary implication. The court in Commissioner of Central Excise Patna versus New Swadeshi Sugar Mills agreed with the interpretation given by the Customs Excise and Service Tax Appellate Tribunal to Rule 6 of the CEN VAT Credit Rules 2002 by holding that CEN VAT credit which was already earned by the assessee could not have been taken away if rigors of Rule 6 would have been having only prospective effect. In the case of Jayam and Company versus Assistant Commissioner, the court in context of Section 1920 of the Tamil Nadu Value Added Tax Act 2006, which was inserted in the statute by the amendment brought about by the Amendment Act of 2010, held that the said provision was made for the first time to the detriment of the dealers, lowering the rate of input tax credit on resale. Such a provision, therefore, cannot have retrospective effect, more so when vested right had accrued in favor of the dealers in respect of purchase and sale made prior to insertion of the provision. The benefit of input tax credit is traceable to the statute. If the same has to be reduced, which will have an adverse civil consequence upon the beneficiary, it must have the requisite statutory sanction. In this case, the statutory sanction came on and from 1st April 2014 with the amendment of the first proviso of Section 13(1) of the Punjab VAT Act. If the interpretation sought to be given to Rule 21(8) of the Punjab VAT rules by the state is accepted, the natural corollary would be that the reversal of input tax credit would be at the lower rate of tax on the goods in question when those goods could not be used for the purpose specified in Section 13(1) or which remained as part of the stock in trade at the time of closure of business. Such an interpretation, besides being fallacious, would also lead to revenue loss for the state exchequer. Thus, having regard to the discussions made above, the court was of the unhesitant view that the interpretation given by the High Court to the applicability of Rule 21(8) of the Punjab VAT rules, read with the amended first proviso to subsection 1 of Section 13 of the Punjab VAT Act, is legally sound and warrants no interference.